Thanksgiving break week here, so it's no classes. Last game, regular season for these guys, big game. Good week. Last game, several things I thought from Maryland contest. I think the kicking game was pretty big that game, not just because Griff made some field goals. We had it twice on the 2-yard line and had to kick field goals, which wasn't good. So our red zone offense still needs to continue to improve. But I think like our punting game, kickoff cover game, their greatest kickoff cover was when we kicked it for a touchback. So our cover units were good, and that was against a really good return guy in Likely, one of the better guys in the conference. As a matter of fact, I think they actually started inside the 20 with punts and kickoff coverage. I thought that was huge. I think coming off the 6 losses the way we had, we keep saying those guys had battled and just impressed the way we started poorly. That game is similar to the Rutgers game in reverse, where the first 10 or 15 minutes we're standing around and not good at any phase, and then we play 40, 45, 50 minutes of good football. It shows finishing good's better than starting good. So we'd like to start well and play the whole game well, but there's ebb and flow. We did talk to the guys about continuing to play no matter what happened, and it was good to see that because we get on a 44-7 run. Again, kicking was good there. Defense, except for one long run, settled down. Offense got going, except for a few score zones. I'd like to point out, we talk about our recruiting stuff. I know we've got a couple of the recruiting guys here. But you look at our team, like there's about 13, 14 walk-ons that came here as walk-ons that have a huge impact on our team. And so you got Mitchell Page, who had 5 catches and 2 TDs. He's got 41 catches for the year and 6 TDs, counting his 2 punt returns and 4 on offense. It's a huge. He's on scholarship now, but we recognize Mitchell. We recognize Andre Booker, who now has 2 touchdowns this year. That was on scholarship. It's not this year. You got to re-earn them, and the way we do it. And he's a tremendous contributing player, but with their numbers, is not on aid right now. But had a touchdown at Michigan State. Had a big touchdown the other day. Michael Cooper now has 2 touchdowns. Had 1. Came here as a transfer from Arizona as a walk-on. Had to earn it. He's got 14 catches. Luke Timian had his first play. He had a ankle sprain. It's gimped him a little bit, and he's kind of like Mitchell and Damon Graham. They're all similar personnel set guys at the slot, and Luke had a big catch leading to some points. That was a huge play. Damon Graham had another play, 16 yards or 16 kickoff returns for 21.7 for the year, doing well for us in that capacity. We had A. Wilson and A. Rodriguez out there at tailback playing for us. So offensively, you got 2, 4, 6, 7 skill guys that are contributing. Defensively, Mario Swan had 3 tackles on special teams. Ben Bach had 3 tackles as a corner, played 37 snaps. Let alone Thornton, that we moved to receiver, a scholarship guy. But those non-scholarship guys are big. We replacing Dooley like we did. Gottsel and Goodell. Perrick's been good. And then Toth, has had 20 kicks inside the 20 out of 55. That's 40%. He's averaging 41 yards, 0.4. And Oaks, he's leading the conference. He's leading in scoring and percentage and touchbacks. So those are all non-scholarship guys. So we just kind of threw that out to our guys. We want our recruiting to keep doing well. But when you're state school and you can get some in-state kids, those non-scholarship guys are huge. And there's a bunch more that we don't mention that help us, whether it be in practice or their roles aren't as great yet. So anyway, we kind of threw that out there. Offensively, yards after catch was the best it's been in a while, Semi in particular. We thought when they made the big run in the third quarter to have the next 2 drives as third quarter touchdowns was huge because they cut it to 30-20. We didn't like the red zone production where we keep stalling. We did have 5 offensive penalties, and a couple of those guys were playing hard we like, and you got to be careful not to overcoach it, but we were crossing the line a few too many times. Winning performances, we had several guys up front in the perimeter. Sudfeld played well. Michael Cooper, again, Divine Redding had 130. I think Maryland had given up 104 yards in the previous 4 games rushing to Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Iowa. And Divine had 130 himself, and they loaded the box, and that's why some of the passing was good. It was one-on-one, but it was a good running game and a hard running day. Divine played well. Dan Feeney played well again. Jason Spriggs, Jake Reed, Semi Cobbs, Mitchell Page, and Andre Booker. Player of the games were Semi Cobbs and Nate Sudfeld, and our scouts were Jacob Alpamonte, and Raekwon Jones, again, who showed up several times as a young guy. Defensively, responding from the 21, first start, had a turnover, gave up cheap, but a couple big plays. I think they thought they kept their poise. I think the offensive drive gave them a little bit of momentum. And then they kind of got, let's say, then 5 3-and-outs as the game went along. We only had one defensive penalty, and that was a PI call. That was a competitive play. We had 8 tackles for loss. We were 13 of 16 on third down. We were 4 of 6 on fourth down. So getting some stops, best we've been in a while. We only gave up 7 second-half points and 0 in the fourth quarter, which was great. We didn't have any turnovers that we created, that we got. And Maryland had been a little sloppy, so Maryland did a much better job. We didn't get them. We had 15 missed tackles. We got to clean that up. Some big plays we got to clean up, but got to start faster. I love their finish. They had several guys that played well, we thought. Nick Mangieri, Darius Latham, and Zach Shaw. Those 3 guys have been playing very, very hard up front. Ben Bach and Leon Thornton at corner both showed up well physically for us. Jonathan Crawford, and then Marcus Oliver, T. Gray Scales. Player of the games, Marcus Oliver. Marcus is probably playing as hard as anyone on our team, probably caring and giving and fighting. He's beat up, and he's got a lot of passion, and he's a phenomenal kid, and he gives a lot. He's kind of the glue keeping those guys together. He's a special young player as a sophomore. He's a third-year sophomore. Scouts, Danny Cameron, good to see, and Chandler Miller. In the kicking, we had several good performances. Players that game to Griffin Oakes and Eric Toth. We did recognize Ryan Watercutter and Chris Gajic as scout team kick guys. Those guys covering kicks for us was really, really good. I thought Mitchell Page did a good job managing the kicks. He had one get over his head. And then again, moving on to Purdue, again, very fortunate to have, again, what I consider a great rival and a lot of respect for their team. Been through my years from high school as a player through college and where I've coached, been lucky to be at a place that had good rivals. Not everyone has that blessing, and so it's nice that we have a fan base from both sides, and there's a lot of talking and smack, I guess, but it's really good that it's right. And I'll slow down like the commercial, but rivalry week, and we have a great rival, and we embrace that, and it's going to be a tough challenge. If you put on the tape, and we kept saying that, sometimes we're playing good and the record don't show it. I mean, you put on the tape and watch how hard they're playing in all phases. 2 quarterbacks, I guess one's hurt, maybe plays, maybe not, but the guy that comes in was their starter, played against us last year, threw for 280 or something last week against Iowa. We threw for 180. That's a great defense. I think it was 23 or 40. Markel Jones, that running back, was a touted kid that everybody knows that we recruited and know him well. Know their coaches well. Defensively, creating a lot of turnovers in the secondary with Frankie Williams, or guys, the front linebackers. Like I say, it's going to be a tough challenge. That's why, again, you don't win on the road a lot. It's hard. It's going to be a big game. But at the same time, we go back to approaching it as it's the next week, and we want to get better. And that's what we talked about yesterday. Here's the game. Here's the good. Here's corrections. Let's fix it. We had some good preparation today, and it's Thanksgiving, so a lot to be thankful for. But really, as much as anything, a good group of kids, and just need a good week. And fortunate to have a big rival to go play a good game in. Yeah, again, he's got a knee that they'll try to manage here, and we'll see. Again, we'll go visit with him. He could have. He actually had it coming out of the last game, so he didn't get hurt in practice. He just kind of, been fighting through it. And say the last. Why do you guys always ask negatives? Now we just had the first time in the history of school 2 players of the week, ever, and third largest comeback in history of school ever. And we got to start with negative questions. That's our way. See, we don't operate that way on the second floor. We got to start doing press conferences in the positive venue of the second floor here. Yeah, but it's always like we always got to get injury updates. Why don't we get like who's playing great updates? And I mean he's we'll see. We're going to always be smart. He's got short term and long term. But like last game, even and they tried to get him on a bike and could go, but man, they were putting 7-8 up. It was going to be tough sledding. He didn't feel comfortable. We didn't feel comfortable. We'll go through the week and see. We'll be smart with it. But not, we'll just, I don't know. Fortunately, again, we got still the same line and some good backs if we don't have him. But we'll see. Time will tell. Yeah, he's out there limited. I mean, we didn't do anything last week. Same kind of, you don't do, I mean, those guys take so much beat. You try to get some of those guys to Saturdays this time of year, so. Like Dan Feeney's nicked up. Some of those guys wearing boots till they get off the bus Saturday, and then they're out there playing. I mean, so it's that kind of time of the year with some of those guys. I hadn't yet, because again, you just start with moving on to, this Monday. Here's your formations and tendencies you think you see, or how you think you're going to get attacked, or blitzes, and here's their kick units and threats, and so you kind of start more with game planning. At the end of the day, road games are tough. That's why it's hard to win on the road, and we haven't had a lot of success doing that. We haven't figured anything out, except last week we just kept playing and played hard, and it was good enough. We'll need to do it again and better, because again, Purdue's, you watch them on tape. Maryland came in playing very, very well, and they started playing very, very well. And Purdue on tape looks the same, and let alone it being a rival, and as you wrap up the season. So, bottom line, we really talk a lot about the opponent and keeping your eyes on your job instead of surroundings and distractions and all that.